Now we will learn about the Python dictionaries. So dictionaries are basically another way to store several data items together, and this time the data items are being stored in a key value format. So what does that mean? So the meaning is like this: instead of the default index, you can choose basically your own choice of index. For example, just consider a Python list. Now if you want to store, let's say, this 5, 9, 22 and 6 inside a list, what you needed to do: inside the index 0 you have to store 5, inside index 1 you have to store 9, then inside index 2 you store 22, and then inside index 3 you are storing 6, like this. And this time you do not have any control over the type of index that you want to choose. It is by default, it is 0, 1, 2, 3, like this way. But here in dictionary, actually you can choose your own index, your choice of index. For example, in this slide, I have used A, B, M, and N as an index, like this. A is my first index, then B is the another second index, then M is another index, then N is another index. And dictionary means these things, these index and these values are actually coupled together. So A is basically coupled with 5, then B is basically coupled with 9, M is coupled with 22, and N is coupled with 6, like this. And whenever it is it follow this type of concept, like your own index coupled with a value, we call it a key value store. So where the index that you just created by yourself, like this A, B, M, N, these indexes are basically called a key, and the corresponding values are called just values. And here the idea is, utilizing your own index, you should be able to access the data items or the values stored in here in this collection. So let us try to clarify it with an example that you can see in here. So for first, you have to utilize a variable name. I have used dict1 just to say that, well, this is a dictionary. You can use any name of your choice. Now, after that, there is an equal symbol, and then inside an opening and closing curly brace, you have to first specify this index, then a colon, followed by the value that you want to store. So here it is, the first item is A, that is in here, then colon, which is basically mapping between A and 5, and then the value that is 5. Similarly, the second item is let's say B, and in here, and B is basically 9, which is mapping between B and 9. Then M and 22, so just like this picture, and similarly N and 6. So the index item, index of your choice, which is called the key, and then a colon symbol, and followed by the value that you want to store. And now once you have stored like this, it is always possible to print the entire dictionary as a whole using this print then followed by this dictionary variable name, like this. Also, it is possible to print each item individually. For example, let's say if you want to access the item stored at M, that is your index M, you can access it just like this, the dictionary variable name, and then inside this opening and closing box bracket, you have to specify the index name. Uh, so now, because of this thing, this is called a key value store also. Now, these key and value can be of any type. Here in my example, I have used the keys as a string or something like a one single character string, but it can be of any type of string, or it can be of any type of integer, floating point number, or any different data type. Similarly, the value can also be any type of data item. Here I have used only integers like 5, 9, 22, and 6, but you can store any type of data item. It can be a floating point number, a string, or a single character string, or whatever it is. So that is the idea of dictionary. Now, another thing you need to know, that a dictionary cannot have two items with the same key. That makes sense, right? For example, just think of your list. Can you have two index with 0? Like the first index is also 0 and the second index is also 0, or the last index is also 0. Well, that is not possible. So the same way, you cannot have two items with the same key. For example, if your dictionary over here, it already has an item with key M. So here key is M and the value is 22. So you cannot just add another entry like M equals 60, M equals 55 like this. So that is not possible. So that is all about the Python dictionaries. And now let us try to clarify the concept of Python dictionary through a demo example. Well, there are lots of other different facilities in Python dictionaries, but we are not going into very deep in this 100 level course. That is possibly I will add some more video as an advanced concept of dictionary, where you can get some use cases of dictionary.